All right, so this slide and the following slide are going to kind of work hand in hand. You're going to do some thinking on this slide that you'll actually see spelled out a little more explicitly on the next slide. But what do we know? We know that the store is going to start by selling 100 Pi phones in week 0. I'm just going to start recording some information off to the left here. Okay, I've got week 0. This is my week number. In week 0, I expect to sell 100 Pi phones. Okay, now when we get to the next week, we're going to sell 15% more. So I've got to figure out kind of a way to do this where I easily calculate that 15% more. Well, I know that I'm going to sell 100 phones for sure. So we can write that as 100 times 100%. And then to that, I'm going to add 100 times 15% more. Okay, so 100 times 100%, that's just 100. And then I'm going to add to that 15% more. So what I get is 115 phones. Now week 2. Okay, so how are we going to calculate the total number of phones sold each week? We can do it like I'm showing you here. Okay, we're going to take 100% of the previous week and then add 15% of the previous week. Okay. So we're going to be taking for week 1, 15% of 100. For week 2, we would do 15% of 115 because that's what we had in the previous week. Would rounding be appropriate? Well, I mean, yes, because if we do the next week, let's just look at week 2, okay? We're going to take 100% of our previous week. So that's 115 times 100%. And then to that, I'm going to add 15% of the previous week. So that's 115 times 15%. Now, when I do that, I get 115 plus whatever 15% of 115 is, and that's 17.25. Now, if I add those together, I get 132.5. We could write down 132.5, but it doesn't make sense for us to sell 132.5 phones. We can't sell a half a phone. So we'd want to round down. And when we do, so we would say, I'm just going to we would round down. And again, that's because we can't sell a partial phone. We either sell a phone or we don't. I'm going to let you try to see if you can use this pattern to predict the number of phones we'll sell in week 4, because on the next slide, we're actually going to calculate that.